How we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome to Path of Exile Season 2 Survival Guide. This is going to be covering Ranger and going excruciatingly fast. Now, in the previous episode, episode 0, which some of you may have seen, some of you may have not, I showcased how to build a character and the basics of building some of the characters you see a lot of streamers playing, which is the speed ranger sort of archetype, the Deadeye that goes very fast and clears maps in like -3 seconds. And I did about 30 to 35 minutes on how to build that character. Now, I'm going to put the path of building to that in the description, and I also actually missed a little bit at the end, where I thought I was done, but then I realized I actually forgot to do a decent amount. And needless to say, this is what the character ended up as, because I forgot to explain how puncture actually works. Puncture does effective damage on its own, but the gimmick to puncture, the skill that we're going to be using for this character, is that when enemies are bleeding, they actually take more damage when they move. That's the way Path of Exile has made their bleed mechanic unique. So our standard bleed damage is pretty okay. But if we check the box in Path of Building, is the enemy moving, the DPS goes up quite a bit. And the reason that this works so well in our current character is that because we're trying to be as fast as possible, we're shooting one projectile and then running, which means the enemies will chase us. Means the enemies are moving, means they're taking moving levels of bleed damage. The other thing I forgot to cover was how we actually get fast, which is kind of the whole fucking point, isn't it? I'm not the smartest nowadays, but I try my best, I promise. And that is through a Quicksilver Flask of Adrenaline and a Silver Flask of Acceleration. This roll can be pretty much whatever. Onslaught gives you movement speed as well as attack speed, 20% to both of those. And then a Quicksilver Flask gives you flat movement speed, as well as an Adrenaline Quicksilver Flask gives you a shit ton of movement speed, because this can scale up quite a bit. It can go from 20 to 30%, and we wind up with a 144% movement speed modifier that is pre-tailwind and pre-vol haste. So we wind up going pretty fast, and I'm going to showcase to you how we get this character rolling. Now, I did a few skill tree changes if you're curious. I grabbed a little bit of leech right here, and I took the life portion here instead of over here. Other than that, that's pretty much the exact same character, and our ascendancy is set up as such. The other points are probably going to go to endless munitions, but we shall see as we progress through the character. I also went up top a little bit to get a bit of damage over time. Pretty self-explanatory, and the previous video will detail how to build this whole thing, my whole thought process when I build a character and when I want to build like a fast sort of character. And I would highly recommend watching that if you want a very good starting point to building your own character that a lot of streamers will be playing, although with the bow reworks coming soon, we'll kind of see about that one. But yeah, so in this episode, we are going to actually start playing, and I'm going to explain how I'm going to go about this. I'm going to be playing in the current league, which is Blight League. We're not going to be interacting with the league mechanic at all, because I want to play it like it's a fresh character, and as such, I'm also not going to be touching any of my stuff in my stash, because I do already have characters in this league. I also have characters in Solo Self-Found Standard, and I can't really clear anything out unless I make a new account, and I have MTX, and I don't want to stare at a character that looks like an absolute potato. So, we're going to just be playing through Blight League, Solo Self-Found, and I'm going to be playing the character as if it's fresh. When we get to Endgame, or like once we finish off maps, then, not finish off maps, once we get to maps, I'm going to open up my stash. I'm going to use what's available in my stash to a point. Obviously, I'm not going to use like a fucking Exalted Orb or anything like that, but I will use like basic currencies, and I'll ask you guys if any of the stuff that I land on one of my other characters is acceptable to a point. We'll see. Most things I will showcase how to craft. So we're going to make our Ranger. We're going to name it, I don't know, Wolfian YT Survival Guide. This is probably taken by myself, and it's not. Okay, cool. And we're gonna load in, and yeah, it's a cool story, I know. Path of Exile takes a fucking eternity to load. It gives me a little bit of time to talk about things, though. Knowing my luck, it crashed here, and that's going to be par for the fucking course. But in the first version of this series, I did cover pretty much everything. I don't know if I'm going to do that same sort of in-depth thing. I will still cover as much as I can, but I'm probably going to cover the ultimate basics a little bit faster. Like, I'm not going to spend 20 minutes going into, how to put a fucking skill gem in and how support gems work. I have done full videos on that sort of thing. I will still do my best to explain multiplicative and additive and that sort of stuff, but all of the ultra basic mechanics, I'm not going to spend as much time on as I did previously. If you want to see everything with a 20-minute explanation explaining it fully, I would recommend watching the first series. I am still going to do that to an extent, but not to a 20-minute extent every episode, because we are going to focus on going fast, right? That is the whole point of this sort of thing. So we're going to pick up our bow. Make sure you click skip tutorials there, by the way, because otherwise this shit gets a lot more annoying. Talk to our dying exile. He's going to die. Path of Exile is going to be laggy because it's the first time I've booted it up in a little while. We're going to put that in there. We're going to change the left click to move only, and I'm going to move my flask to where I like it, as well as game while you lag. As well as we're going to put Scroll of Wisdom where I like it personally. And a trick for you is keybind move only to a key. So I have it on my A key. Reason being, now I want to show you this. You pick up a Scroll of Wisdom, try to left click to move, right? You drop the fucking things. You need these, obviously. Pick it up, use your keybind to move. Yeah. So this is how you see people, this is how you see streamers doing itemization tricks in races, right? Where they're picking up stuff off the ground, they're equipping it, and doing all these sorts of fancy antics. Okay, my fucking game really needs to load. That is how you see people doing all these fancy antics, where they're picking up gear and switching it out as they go. They're running as they go when they do races and start of league type stuff. That is the trick to it. So make sure to keybind that. Obviously, to a point, some people will put it on middle mouse button because they enjoy, using that. I've always found middle mouse to be an awkward keybind for me personally, but that's just how it is. We're gonna kite Hillock very easily, and then pick up pretty much everything. Kiting is something you're gonna need to work on for yourself. I've played action RPGs for a long time. Basically, shoot, step back, shoot, step back. It's going to be the bread and butter of Ranger, so you should learn it pretty easily. You don't ever want to stand still and shoot unless you're going to be able to kill it before it can reach you. Playing high-speed characters does involve some kind of semi-high APM. Not really, but there's obviously a point where we're going to want to be at least somewhat quick at Path of Exile and have the basics down. Okay, you can stop being laggy anytime now. So we're going to pick up Bestel's quest. Is it Nessa? There you go. We're going to grab Nessa's quest, grab that from Bestel, talk to the non-existent Tarkly because Path of Exile takes forever to load, and we're going to grab Split Arrow or Caustic Arrow. Either of them are good. Split Arrow is a little bit better for early leveling. Caustic Arrow is also decent, but if you want to be real funny, you pick up Split Arrow, and then you put it in with Pierce, and then we have an AoE piercing ranged attack. We can also sell everything here because we don't need any of this. We can then go to purchase items and type in movement, and we're going to see if we land any movement speed gear. No, we don't. Now, this is another thing that streamers will do during races. If you type this in and you land a pair of shoes with movement speed on them, you can make your life a whole lot easier. I'm actually going to use a little bit of the currency that I have to show you that and show you how much faster it can make you. We've got this pair of boots here. I have 18 alterations. This is for showcase. You're not going to be able to do this, but I am going to show you for showcase here. So we're going to roll through all these, and there's 10% move speed. That's the sort of thing you want to look for. And just watch my character in town, right? Walking, etc., etc. Just mentally time this, right? You see how it is? Put that on. And you can see we're already that little bit faster, right? You can see how much faster that makes it. That can scale up. This is tier 6. You can get higher tiers of rolls. And the higher you can get the faster you can get. So I have like unique boots that have 30% in, I think it's on one of my other characters, but yeah, there's 20% on those unique ones there. And you want to keep your eye out for those as you level, because obviously that lets us get faster. In Endgame, we're going to want 30%, but 30% as well as a high-rolled or well-rolled pair of boots is very difficult to land and will cost you a lot in most playthroughs. Now, there's a couple different things you can do. These Scrolls of Wisdom here you can use to make your start that much more efficient, or you can hold on to them and try and look for itemization later on. You want to sell everything from Hillock, and then you want to sell your shards, and then if you can manage to get 6, you're in a very good spot. You want to grab something physical based. You want to either grab a ring, which is the better way to go, or grab a belt. If you have enough currency, I'd recommend getting 2 rings. So in this case, we're going to grab any iron ring, and we are going to just go, because that adds a decent amount of damage. We go from 12.9 to 16.5. This means our chance to one-shot a pack has just gone up, which increases our clear speed if we only have to shoot it once instead of twice. So we're going to go up to the coast, and we're going to make our way through here and progress down to getting our Quicksilver Flask, which will let us move that much faster. Now you're going to also see where a lot of the clear speed is going to come in through Split Arrow Pierce, because we can now kill packs fast and progress pretty quickly. The thing about Ranger, and the reason it's most often used, or a bow character in general, is it can kill enemies from far away while progressing to the objective. Most cases, the objective is the map boss. In our case, the objective is to finish the story, and I know most of the story paths by like memorization. That's going to take you a little while to do, but once you start to get that down and your game doesn't fucking lag, you can start to move that little bit faster. Also, since we have Pierce, we can kill multiple enemies in a single shot. And obviously, certain enemies are going to take more than one, but that's fine. This game really does not like loading sometimes, but such is life. We're getting there now. So make sure I keep my mana flask up, and we can kill a bunch of stuff. We're going to grab this Wisdom Scroll in case I need to go back to town, and then I can get more damage. Also, because we're playing a Ranger, we can shoot up hills. Yeah, it's as stupid as it sounds. So you can use that to clear packs you can't normally reach, as well as kill pretty much everything, really. Where you're going to want to aim for a fast attack speed bow to start. It depends what way you like to play. If you prefer fast attack speed or like a one hit and you're done, either works. You just want to get as much damage as really possible, as well as much movement speed. Survivability on Ranger can be supplemented to stay away from the enemy and dodge things, which is where some of the fight knowledge and APM will come into play when playing Ranger and or a squishier character in general. So I grabbed the Wisdom Scroll. I have 3 again, so I could technically go back to town and grab another ring if I thought that that would let me one-shot packs that much faster. So we can clear pretty much everything very quickly and efficiently, and I can path wrong because I think it's over here and I need to go all the way around. It's either there or down here. I'll check down here first, might as well. I can have the wrong path while still leveling decently because I'm able to kill stuff as I run to a decent speed here. This is where the early game is very good for Ranger. Now just imagine doing this, but you've bought a unique bow and you have a tabula with a 6-link. Yeah, you can see how Ranger starts to get very, very fast. I believe this is actually the way to go, so it's a good thing I didn't check the other way. Once you see a waypoint, you know you're generally going the right way. And we're going to get to the Tidal Island. So we grab this, pop down here, and we can click here, check our skill points. And I wasn't fast enough, but if you control-click a skill point, you can put it in automatically. So if you do it normally, you know, you gotta click apply. But otherwise, control-click, auto-applies. So that can also fuck you up, so do be warned. But yeah, so we're gonna keep doing decent AoE clear, and we're gonna look for our boy Hail Rake, the destroyer of many hardcore runs. He can do a lot of burst damage if you're not paying attention. Once you get clapped by him once, though, you're probably not likely to do it again. So he is normally... Is he going to be farther down? Yeah, probably. I don't know. All these layouts have changed since the last time I really paid attention to leveling a character. There's another bow. Now, I would look to try and get a transmutation orb to try and upgrade my bow's current damage. When you're leveling, the thing you want to look for on a bow is physical damage. It obviously depends on the skill you're playing. Some want like damage over time or attack speed and all that sort of stuff. But that's for more like unique sorts of builds, like Caustic Arrow or damage over time style builds. But in our case, we just want as much physical damage as we can possibly get. This is Hail Rake, by the way. Obviously, since we're playing Ranger, we can very easily dodge and not stand in pretty much anything he's going to throw at us. Just by doing shoot, move, like you're playing a MOBA, right? Pretty simple. Grab that medicine chest, grab the flask, grab the portal scroll, padded vest. Now, one other thing is I talked about it briefly in the... I'm going to grab this extra shit, and then we're going to portal scroll. I talked about it briefly in the character building thing, is don't put a chest piece on if you can like avoid it while leveling, because putting a chest piece on reduces your movement speed by 3%. That is actually something that matters when leveling. So we're going to sell all this, sell that. We're going to put those on for armor in a second. Keep that flask. I got 6 there. So now that I have 7 wisdom scrolls, we can also pick up our Quicksilver flask from killing Hail Rake. That is the main reason we did it. And then we can grab one of the 3 here. We're going to grab actually all of these in a second, but we're going to grab Onslaught because this makes it so supported skills have a chance to grant Onslaught for 3 seconds when you hit a unique enemy, or a 27% chance on kill. This is where a lot of speed is going to come from. Now we're going to look for a 3-link because then we can put that in with Split Arrow and Pierce, and then when we kill stuff, we get very, very fast. So if I can get a 3-link pair of gloves or something, we're really in business. So from here I can grab a belt and another ring. Grab one I can actually use. There we go. So now I've gone up even more physical DPS. Nice start. And we're going to look for exactly that. If it has to be a chest piece, then it has to be a chest piece. Nope. We want 3 green. Keep this in mind. And sadly, we've got no luck in finding an equipable 3 green at the moment. Such is life. Okay. So we'll keep an eye out for that in drops now. We'll put on this extra little bit of gear, and we'll ID our life flask. Immune to freeze, that'll be useful later on. And then we just put that over top there. And we sell that 1 little flask. And now you have to make a choice. Do you want to put in Onslaught over Pierce? Or do you want to keep Pierce? Realistically, you could go either way. Honestly, you could do either. I'm going to put in Onslaught personally, because I prefer being that little bit faster. We're going to waypoint back and continue on with what we were doing, because now we are going to get very, very fast. Control, click our skill point in. One thing I recommend doing for APM style stuff, I suppose, is set up Path of Building to be your Alt Tab. So, yeah, you get the gist of it. You can look at your build, you can look at your character, look at your build, look at your character. So that sort of thing lets you path out as optimally as possible and as fast as possible. This is why you want to build the build first and then, you know, play and tab back and forth between. Nice bit of lag, wonderful. And we're going to try and get Onslaught up. There we go. Of course, I get a Rustic Sash drop after I fucking buy one. Of course I do. So you can see Onslaught as the little effect around my character, or you can see it up in the corner as well there. That is increased attack speed and increased movement speed. So when you have Onslaught up, you can hit your Quicksilver, and then you start to go really fast. Now obviously we're going to get faster as time goes on, but that is sort of the basics for going as fast as possible. Make sure, grab this bow because it's an upgrade. Make sure that when you use your Quicksilver, you're being as efficient with it as possible. Like, don't press your movement flask and then sit there and shoot. That's a habit that I have that I still need to break. Also try and make sure you use it when you have Onslaught up to get as much out of it as possible, to try and be as fast as you can. So we're going to speed around a little bit, pop some enemies up, and look for the exclamation mark on the map. And we're just going to sit here for a second, just kind of fire through everything. Now, as I said, you have the ability to avoid mechanics quite easily, unless, you know, the game lags and decides to hit you anyway, which happens sometimes. Anything of note? Grab the necklace, I think. That should be pretty much it. We have Onslaught. Grab that. Fire over there. And try and remember where the last thing should be. Obviously, we only need the 3 glyphs for the quest, so we've got all 3 of them now. So we can progress on. It's in one of the corners here. Not there. Not there. Could be there, maybe. So kill something to get my Onslaught back. And I need to kill more stuff to refill my flasks, because they refill off of kills. Which is another wonderful thing about Ranger, is we can kill as we go, right? Without really pathing that wrong. Of course it was right here, figures. We activate the strange glyph wall and head through. Do let me know if I'm talking too fast or going through things too quickly. Because obviously I do want to keep things as beginner friendly and as simple as possible. But I will be covering some topics fast, I suppose, because, you know, I have covered all the ultimate basics many times over. If I am talking about things too quickly, let me know when this comes out, and I can kind of change things up, I suppose, in regards to my approach. Although, when this comes out, I might be on episode 5 or something like that of pre-recording, so who knows? We'll see. The bow is 6 to 16, but it's not linked, which means it's not a possible upgrade for us just yet. It will be eventually, so let's hit our movement speed right now, because we have nothing to kill. Now that we do, take our few seconds to kill things. Got the scroll. Now, while in combat, if we're fast enough, I can put the point in, tab back, and there we go. Keep an eye out for doors like this, because this is for a quest. A side quest that gives 1 skill point, which, do it while you can. If you come across it, might as well, because it lets you be that much faster. A little trick. We're going to go out here. We're going to drop a portal scroll. Go to Flooded Depths. Wait, am I retarded? I might be. We're going to see. We're going to find out the old-fashioned way. Then we're going to clear through this, kill the boss, and then we're going to escape, exit the character selection, and then come back into the character. And if I'm not completely retarded, which is a possibility at this point, I'll be honest with you, the portal scroll there should still be there, and you can port back to where you were. But at the same time, I could have a brain deficiency. We'll see. I did just kind of think that up on the fly, so if it works, it works. If not, well, you know, we out here. So we're looking for a, what's the color of it? Like an orange beast type of thing. An orange little crab thing here. Also, if you notice the way that I'm playing, I always have my map open. This is the way I'd recommend getting used to playing. You're not ever really looking at your character. You're just kind of right-clicking at colors, which is what Path of Exile kind of boils down to at higher speed. We just kind of right-click at enemies, left-click in a different direction to keep moving, right? It's the kind of kiting thing I was telling you about before. So we can pull a big pack of enemies behind us while moving towards our current goal. Now imagine if I had Pierce on right now. We'd be piercing through all of these enemies. I could switch it out, possibly. I'll go for a different style, pick up that quiver, because rangers can use a bow and a quiver. Put that in right now. I just shot a wall. Heal. There we go. I think this is a dead end, if I remember correctly. But that's fine. Could be, is it? Just gonna adrenaline flask down here. It is a dead end. So we're just gonna fight back. We have Onslaught up, Quicksilver out. That's a dead end as well. Kill things as we go, because it refills our flasks. Put the skill point in. Pop down this way. Boss should be here, if I remember right. Keep my mana up. Now, I wish I had an eye tracker, because I'm keeping my eyes centered in like the center of the screen. But I can see out of peripheral vision when my mana gets low. So I know what my flask keybind is, so I hit 4, and my mana comes back, right? pretty simple. So I'm keeping my eyesight centered, clicking at colors, watching the map for what sort of path to take, kiting enemies efficiently. This is what it kind of boils down to eventually for playing like a speed style of ranger. And if you do it correctly, you can do all this without really being hit. Now this is from a lot of experience with action RPGs and like MOBAs and whatnot. So obviously this will take practice and will take a decent amount of time to build up the muscle memory for. But once you get there, you'll get there. So next, take our character selection, and this will bring us back to town without running a town portal scroll. And if I'm not retarded, which am I? I am. Okay. Well, I'll try my best. Try my best to create some on-the-fly tech, but no results. Oh well. We have puncture. Perfect. The skill we're actually planning to use. As well as dash, one of the best movement skills that has been added recently that I enjoy using. Another trick that you can do is that you can buy any skill gem that you've unlocked or been given via quests from Nessa's little secondary tab here. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab Volley, which lets us shoot additional projectiles, and then we're going to grab Mirage Archer. Both of these cost a scroll of wisdom each, so make sure you're stocking up on those as we are going. And that should be pretty much all we need for now. Chance to bleed will also give us a bit of extra damage since we're going to be using puncture, which is a bleed-based skill. But we're going to look for a 3-link, and then we want to use puncture, volley support, and Mirage Archer, and then we can just kill pretty much everything in front of us. We are going to end up losing Onslaught for that, but such is life. So let's see if this is reset and given us any 3-link, 3 green items. Sadly, it doesn't look like it, which kind of sucks, but oh well. And that doesn't work for us. 15, 18. This is the roll difference, right? It can go up to 24, so we want to use the higher one. Necklace, I could ID that. Doesn't really make a difference. Sell the transmute shard to get a scroll of wisdom. Identify that. Max mana. It's something. Might as well use it. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put the blacksmith's whetstone onto the bow. Give us a little bit of extra flat damage. Since bleed scales off of flat damage, it boosts our damage a little bit when we get the new bow. I feel like I am talking too fast, but I don't know. We'll see. I could go up there. This gives movement speed, and this gives max life, but I'm going to go for probably quick step or I think I should go ballistic mastery and go this way, right? Yeah, I should go up. I could get quick step though. I could also go this way for bloodletting. Do I want to go all the way to Red Storm to start? That's a hard sell. That's a hard sell. I can either get all of that for bow damage and like movement speed here and movement speed here. Do I want to go hard into bleed? Or do I think it would work better? Going hard bleed could be fun. That could be fun. Oh, man. I could just also split and go for like frenzy charge, as much movement speed as possible. I could take that route. What's the safest route, I think? It's probably going this way. Yeah, it's no fun. We're going the other way. Alright, we'll pass down this way. We shall... I should probably get that first, though. Yeah, it's percent life regeneration. So we'll grab that, and then we're going to go for all of the bleed damage down here and pass this way. That should also give me the strength to use other stuff. And to round us off, I'm going to put on a little bit of MTX, because I want to make a character that doesn't look like a absolute melon, even though I can't really see what it looks like because I don't have a chest piece on. Let's go for something blue. Sure. Go for necrotic body, I suppose. Mystic character effect. Sure looks kind of cool. What else should we use? Purple necrotic. Might as well. Let's just go for this set. It works pretty decently most times. And then I believe I can use that. That's actually pretty nice. Works pretty decently. Obviously I do need a chest piece, but yeah. That works. Put on a portal effect. Give myself some pets. Why not? 2 of them. And something blue to go with the sort of setup. Did my game just crash putting on MTX? Probably. Knowing my luck. Alright. And now we're a little bit glowier. And it's been a half hour. Do I want to kind of cut it off here? I can go a little bit longer. Whatever. Go back to Submerged Passage. Back to the waypoint. And it saves everything you've already gone through, as well as resets your flasks when you go back to town. So we kind of can path a little differently if we want to. So let's path up instead. And let's try and get ourselves to a ledge while we're at it. Make sure we use Quicksilver. When our onslaught's up, you can check the corner for that. If you've got too many character effects and you can't look at your character. Orb of Transmutation, that's big. If I could ever get a 3-link, I could put on this other bow. That would let me go that much faster. Blight event, don't really care about that, because obviously rules of what we are playing, so I'm going to try and avoid clicking her at all costs. I might do that at some point, but I'm just going to shoot through all these because there's a bunch of enemies here. And keep an eye out for the sort of door, because that lets you see where you need to go, and ledge is the next area that we need to go. I don't think I can get to Brutus. I might be able to. I might be able to get Brutus in the first episode. Let's see. It depends. We're not that far away from it. I could probably get to Brutus in the next 15 minutes. Some people get to Act 3 in, like, under an hour. I kill too much is the problem that I have in doing that sort of speed. But I have gotten to Act 3 in 3 hours before. Or, in like 2.5. That's like the best sort of speed that I ended up with. But I've seen some people finish the game in like an hour and a half, and that's fucking insane. I wish I was that fast, because I hate fucking leveling. I really despise leveling. Unless I'm using it to teach things, right? Then it's a different story, because I'm sidetracked the whole time. But the reason I went for a speed-style character is so that we can actually reach Endgame in a decent amount of time, because that's where a lot of Path of Exile's enjoyment actually starts. At least for most people, anyways. I do enjoy leveling and, like, crafting new characters and all that sort of stuff, but sometimes, like, I have 1,400 hours in Path of Exile, which is a rookie number, and that means I've leveled a lot. I'm one of the people out here waiting for adventure mode, and until we kind of land that, it's a bit fucking brutal. So, a lot of the enjoyment in PoE comes in the endgame and crafting fancy stuff, but a lot of it also comes from creating different characters. So, the faster you can get at leveling, the more enjoyable Path of Exile is going to be in the long run, because you can get stupid meme builds up to effective status that much faster. Up to effective and enjoyable status that much faster. So you can see the sort of speed that we're going at compared to, like, if you watched the first season, how my Marauder went in speed. It's quite different. Quite different. I could use that transmute to all in on my flask and try to get adrenaline. It could happen. I highly doubt it. I am recording, so that ups the chances of stupid shit happening by quite a bit. Grab those shoes, because that set of shoes means I can actually put on the other bow. Because I'll explain that in a second. 2-link with an extra one. So if I lose the movement speed. No, I don't. Like I said, I'm recording. Stupid shit happens. So, put that on. 10% movement speed. Switch this out. And do I just stick on what I had? Probably should just stick on what I had. I could also run Puncture Volley. What's the damage on that look like? 23 plus bleed. I'm just going to wait on that and stick to what I have currently. So we're going to go Split Arrow with Onslaught. And then I can transmute the bow. Added damage, sure, whatever. And then we go from 27 to 39, which is a nice damage boost. Check that. Dexterity. It's vendor food. Cool. And now we're doing more damage. Pretty simple and self-explanatory. We can almost one-shot packs. We can kill them pretty quickly now. So, kite back through big groups of stuff. Also, it's a higher attack speed bow, I believe, than the other one. This is 150, this is 140. I can actually feel the attack speed as I play it. Like, I know that sounds a bit weird to say, but I can actually feel when my attack speed goes up. After playing this many hours of Path of Exile and action RPGs, you can kind of tell. It's a bit of a weird scenario. It's like how when people play sports and like a baseball bat or something becomes like an extension of your hand. It's kind of that sort of same principle. It's a bit weird, but you know. Yeah, I don't know. I just talked for like 35 minutes straight, so my brain's kind of fucking exhausted, but decent clear speed. And through to the climb. I have 2 skill points. This is basically what happens is I end up not realizing I've been leveling up because I just clear at a decent speed. So we're gonna grab Heart of Oak and then come down. I could go for Aspect of the Eagle. I can get damage there faster, but that's no fun. We're gonna get movement speed. I want to just keep being fast. Might as well. Keep clearing through this. I would really, really appreciate the ability to have a 3-link right now, but life says no, sadly. Pick with a waypoint, do a little bit of trickery, go back to town really fast to refresh my flask. Also, the shops reset when you level, so like let's check it and see if I can get a 3-link. 3-link bow. Oh, that hurts my soul because I give up the bow I just got. Probably gonna take it anyways. Yes, I am. Cool. Okay, so 3-link bow. Put that shit in there. Puncture. Volley. Mirage. Mirage Archer. That was anticlimactic. Alright, and now we've got Puncture, and we do not have Onslaught anymore. So our movement speed kind of goes down, but our clear speed should go up. And we go back to the climb. Our flasks are reset. And now, when we shoot things... Did they change the animation for Puncture? Feels like they kind of did. If you notice, we now have a fellow over top of us who does... who shoots Puncture arrows as well, which bleeds things. Sadly, we don't have Pierce, which sort of sucks. But we do have a decent amount of bleed and a decent amount of damage in general now. So we're basically doubling down on our projectiles. Now you can actually get a little bit of extra experience here if you don't step up to proc the enemy that's up here. This is where I think it is. Oh no, never mind. Well, we'll do that later on when I get to that. Keep an eye out for things. It's kind of weird that Puncture does like... Does it do a different animation, or is the attack speed just slower? Maybe it's not having Onslaught. That's probably what it is. We got a boss here, so let's bleed him. Try not to get clapped by his stuff. If we can try and make him move, he'll bleed that much faster. You see his health burning down. There we go. Not having Pierce kind of sucks. This is what I was talking about. If we kind of stand back and pull everything down, we can kill it all. Because otherwise, the boss up here will automatically kill everything. Pick up that transmute orb. Make him move, like I said. Watch his health bleed away. This actually teaches you quite a bit in regards to like other action RPGs and how to play kiting-based characters. They'll normally be in the volley there. Make sure to click her, because otherwise you'll have to run back and it'll be kind of awkward. She's something for a late game that I will touch on when we get there. I'm going to pop through to Lower Prison. We're going to keep going. It's been a long time since I've done 45-minute commentaries. Oh, fuck. My throat's not going to appreciate me tomorrow. Alright. Anyways. And keep on keeping on. Move my way through here. Grab the waypoint. I can reset my flasks. As well as you can get a movement speed. You can get a movement skill. After you reach this point. So we're going to put a point there for attack and movement speed. Go back to town. And grab the movement skill. Should be Blink Arrow, hopefully. Hang on a second. We got LMP, Void Manipulation, Grab Blessing Multiple. Am I... Huh? I could have swore you got... Okay, maybe not. Never mind. I could have swore that once you reach that point, you got a movement speed thing, but never mind. Never mind, we out here. So anything else I need to do that I'm like forgetting? I have dash. Where's dash? Put that in the bow, and we'll put that on as a movement skill. And that will give us a bit of extra movement capability. I prefer to have it on my A key personally, so we're going to switch that. And wonderful. Now we have a movement skill, which should make things that much faster. I should put Pierce on while in here, actually, because of the extra mobs. Also, dash lets you get out of trouble. It's one of the best movement skills in the game. Plays a little bit awkwardly sometimes, but it does its best. It also lets you go over terrain and traverse quite easily, but will burn through your mana if you're not careful. Make sure I actually hit the Diabolist there. And keep on keeping on, shall we? So we're going to keep our map open, and we're going to keep an eye out for the door, because that will take us to the next floor. That rhymed. Cool. It's probably up here, most likely. It's always the direction that you don't go, is what I found. Such is life. Dash makes things a little faster. So let's pop down here. 3-link chest piece. We're going to pick that up right now. And that lets us go like that. Now I do lose a little bit of movement speed, but whatever, I'll make that sacrifice. That's kind of whatever. Alright. I'll take that movement speed sacrifice to be able to use upgraded bows as we keep going. That clips. I'm actually so sad. I'm so sad that that clips. I'll deal with that in a minute. We'll keep going. Make sure to keep Mirage Archer up, because Mirage Archer will actually kill things for you as you like sprint through maps. So make sure to keep that up at any possible point. At this rate, we should be looking to make it to a 45-minute Brutus, which is okay time. I mean, obviously I could be faster, but for showcasing speed and speed clears, it's pretty okay for the purpose. Make sure to keep enemies moving, like shoot them and then kite away from them, because if they're moving, they're taking more damage. Watch their health bars, right? Pretty self-explanatory. Make sure to level your gems where you can. Certain gems you don't want to level. That's a little bit more a late game. I went the wrong way again. I want to die. Okay. Hit the Diabolist. Do it as well here, because they resurrect things. So we can bleed the Necromancers. We're a bit better off. Skill point, movement speed, and attack speed. Wonderful. Use dash to hop through there. It's all about little tricks like that where you can save time. Bleed the Elite. Make sure we keep him moving. Elite's dead. Easy. Position myself because I don't have Pierce. I think I actually missed. Use dash to traverse through rooms that are stuffed with enemies. If we want to make decent time. We don't have to kill everything. Just enough to stay on level. That's how most people do when they're racing. Make sure I keep my Mirage Archer up. Hit the Elite Resurrector, and that is where we need to go. So we're going to path back down. There could be a cut through there, probably not. Pop up here. And then, because we have a boss coming up, I'm going to take off my AoE, and I'm going to put on... It's all clear speed. Okay, never mind. I'm still going to take volley support off, though, because that's just a damage reduction in the case of, like, a boss. So, some people run two different setups. They run, like, a bossing setup and a AoE clear setup. In our case, I'm just going to take the extra projectile off, because it's just a damage reduction thing. So here, I'll show you. 50 DPS. We put volley support in. Goes down to 38. So you're giving up flat damage for more projectiles. It's a good trade for clear, but if you want bossing damage, which we're coming up on a boss, it's worth taking it out to make things go that much faster. And let's pop in here. And here's the boss. Make him bleed. Make him start running towards you. Just bleed him and then run across the room. Pretty simple. Avoid all of his mechanics because we're ranged. And that is boss dead. Make sure we keep a blade up on him. There we go. First boss down. Zero issue whatsoever. Pick up that longbow. It's not going to fit in the inventory. Bin that. Grab the longbow. Grab the iron ring. Grab this. Honestly, since we're playing it as a fresh character, I should grab everything that's yellow. Grab the mana flask. And that's all she wrote. So we're going to pop to the waypoint. And we're going to go back to town and call it there. Exactly 45 minutes for Brutus. That's pretty good. That's pretty good, considering it took me like 10 episodes to get Brutus when I played Marauder. Anyways, back to town. And we are out of here. A little bit of trickery you can do is you can go back to character select and then go back into the character if you want to do something like that. Precision, the smoke mine, blink arrow. That's the movement skill we're looking for. We're going to put that there. We're going to put blink arrow on my movement skill. And then something we're going to do is we're going to turn on always attack without moving. This will make things a lot smoother. And put that on our attack. Put that on our movement skill as well. And then we're going to sell everything else. We're going to sell that. We're going to put our lesser multiple projectiles back there. And then we're going to identify all this stuff. If you hold shift, you can identify multiple things. Better mana flask. Yep. Higher damage bow. Lower attack speed by 0.20%. But higher flat damage. Doesn't actually change the DPS. It equals out. So I'm just going to keep the higher attack speed, I think. 152. This hits harder. Yeah. This hits harder, so it could clear a pack in one shot. Versus this. I will keep this on hand, though. And that's just better than one of the other ones we have. Transmute. I'd love to, like, change that, but no luck there. I'm just going to sell that. Sell that. Look through to see if I have any, like, damage increase things anywhere. For leveling. I mean, chance to bleed would be pretty good to add flat damage, but I can't squeeze that in just yet. No, that's probably all I've got available. There was an aura somewhere. Increase critical strike chance. Yeah, you know what? We'll grab it, because we're here. And I will be using War Banner later on, so I need to plan around getting a little bit of extra strength. So we'll grab the crit aura to give us a bit of extra damage while leveling. And that should do us for the first episode, more than likely. That is Speed Clear Ranger Brutus dead in 4 to 5 minutes, as well as my general thoughts during the process. Hopefully I covered pretty much everything, and I didn't really leave anything out that I know of. This does kind of assume you know sort of like the absolute basics, I suppose, but I still try to cover those as best as I can. That still clips, and that actually pisses me off. Do I have, like... That looks so bad, though. When the hell did I get that? The problem I have is this helmet looks sick, but, like... That kind of works. But it also clips at the back. Like, it's a tough life, man, I tell you, trying to get a good transmog set together. Because I always want to make this helmet work, but I always have the hardest amounts of struggle to do so, sadly. And like, it's a tough life. It's a tough one. That is so good, but at the same time, it's so not. You feel me? Oh well, I could do like what? What could I do? That looks really weird with the thing there. Is there anything else? I mean, that's what I normally go for. Yeah, we'll just go for the standard setup. That works. But yeah, that is Speed Clear Ranger, done and dusted, 45-minute Brutus. Let me know your thoughts on things down below. And of course, I shall continue the series just as I go. So hopefully you guys voted in the poll on episode 0, which I probably should have mentioned at the start of this episode, but oh well, it's a hard life. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening, and as always, take care, gentlemen.